Okay, we're live from on Hangouts and Gun Channels, and just waiting for the YouTube lag. There she goes. I think. Yep, there she goes. All right, welcome live from the crossroads of America to Rick's Life as I See It, a talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Also, answer questions from you in the chat. Just write them in there or email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or at spottedrick@gmail.com. Also, the audio file will normally be on Podbean, Stitchers, and iTunes within 24 hours. Patreon page, have t-shirts and coffee mugs and all that at spreadshirt.com. Just type in Rick's Life or Spotted Rick and my stuff should come up. And that's it. We get the show going. I don't see anybody, introduce one person on the panel so far today. It's Tony. So how you doing, Tony?
It's a lovely day here. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
All right. Oh, 2 live moves just showing up. 7 Wonders. How you doing, guys? If anybody wants to join the panel, the link is over on Gun Channels. Or you can, if you're a member there, if you're not a member there, you should be there. Hey, Patrick. So, there we go. So anyway, starting this all off, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit of reloading today, but I thought I'll leave that to sort of like later. What I want to talk about is why I punish myself. I don't know. I think I'm just a glutton for punishment, self-inflicted aggravation on myself. I haven't watched him in a long, long time, but I happened to click on a James Yeager video. And he's sick and tired of people saying the gun community. He says, you're nothing but a bunch of wasters. He says, you all want to be politically correct and everything else. He says, he says, I'm a member of the gun culture. Now, to me, what in the fuck's the difference? You know, to me, I don't see the difference. Community is a bunch of people getting together. Culture is a way of life. And and I understand where he's coming from, but yes, he's in the gun culture, but he's still part of the gun community. What do you think?
Sometimes the wording will catch me and just annoy the living fuck out of me, like somebody who says lever as opposed to the real word, which is lever.
Yeah.
Or 45 long cold. It ain't a fucking long cold. It's cold. Other stuff like that, I really don't care. I mean, there is a fundamental difference in being part of a community and being part of a culture. But, I don't fucking care what Yeager says.
I don't either, but I just thought, so what's your what's your definition of a culture then?
It's basically the whole encompassing of people who are involved with firearms.
Okay. Yeah.
From buds to the most hardcore gun nuts that you'd be scared to have as your neighbor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would be kind of scared to have him as a neighbor, to be quite honest with you.
And gun community is basically what Gun Channels is. It's a place where we get together and hang out. And, we're a part of that particular gun community.
Yep. Oh, Midnight Range is here. James Yeager is a big fan of mine. Yeah, I figured he would be. I figured he'd be a fan of yours. You know, that's Midnight Range I'm going on about here. I'm reading them in the chat. So
No, I've had a couple of personal conversations with Jaeger.
Oh, you have?
I got no problem with the guy. You know, in person or one-on-one, not in person. The guy's typical, ordinary human being. I mean, a lot of this YouTube stuff is a persona.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I blow that shit off.
Yeah, I think, hey, Squib.
Hi.
How you doing?
Squibby.
Hey. Let's see if I can get this stupid camera to work. How's that? Can you see now?
Yeah. Well, you taking your dog for a walk?
I am taking my dog for a walk because it is 40 degrees, and in the winter, we can't get out and get him the walks he needs. He loves to take walks, and I mean, people know how I feel about pets. They're dumb animals that don't live very long, and they're part of the family, even though they're not kids or spouses. They're just dumb animals. But that don't mean I don't love my dumb animal. And I know he loves to go for walks. And I figured, why not? Especially with it being the 2nd. Last night I was on Gary's show. You have to forgive the wind noise, sorry. I was on Gary's show, and he's asking everybody what they're doing for the 2nd. And I had a lame, I'm going to do an oil change. No. This is a great opportunity for the dog and I to get some exercise. And I don't know if you can see that.
Yep. I see the
open.
What gun is it?
That's my SR 1911.
Oh, okay.
Old Reliable. I got Old Reliable here. So it's legal to do in my state, so why not?
Yeah,
so,
I was just telling Tony that this month or next month I'm going to get my Indiana license for I can open carry on the 2nd. It's legal
you need
in Indiana.
But you have to have a license to do it there?
You have to have a concealed carry license to do it.
To open carry?
Yes.
That's kind of silly.
It is. But hey, I'll take it for now. As you said,
okay.
A little bit at a time.
Yeah. So I want to thank Gizzard Gary for bringing that up last night, and it just gave me something to think about. I mean, nobody gave me any crap over it, but if they had, I totally deserve it. I mean, it's a Saturday. No, but I picked up the oil. I'll do the oil change tomorrow. It's going to be a couple degrees warmer tomorrow. So so I'll do the oil change tomorrow. But for right now, it's the 2nd. The weather's good. The dog is loving being out here, and I just I appreciate him bringing it up because it just made me think later, hey, there really is no excuse for me not doing this. And earlier today, we went to my son's flag football game, and we went inside. It was cold, but later when we came out, I mean, it literally felt like a heat wave, going from negative 15 to 40.
Oh yeah, it's all melting now, so you know.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I see Patriot's in the chat, but he's not in the panel. But he did tell me he might not be able to make it today because he got something going on. Same with David Kingpin Bowling. So.
Excuse me a second, guys. I took a moment to put on my shoulder rig for my 629.
That's all right. Anyway, I was at our original question here was, what's the difference between the gun community and the gun culture? What do you make of it, Squib?
I mean, those terms are almost interchangeable, but maybe not. Okay, the gun community is maybe somebody who's informed and active, and the gun culture is somebody who just wants a toy. How's that?
Yeah, well, now where I was going with that, James Yeager is where I got this from. As I was saying, I haven't watched anything of his in, goddamn, at least a year. But I happened to click on one the other day, and he was saying the exact opposite to what you just said. You know? So that's why you pulled it up as a topic. I said, "Oh, damn!" You know, to me, gun culture is
community. Okay, so community, you think of a close-knit group, a family, and people that are together for a common bond. culture, you think of a way of life,
Yes.
right?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Gun channels would be a gun community.
Yes, I agree, Tony.
Yeah. Yeah. I would too. But I mean, I mean, I don't know. As I said, why I punish myself this way. You know, he was saying people who call themselves the gun community are a bunch of wimps and pansies and all that kind of stuff. You know.
Okay, it's James Yeager. Okay,
Yeah.
the very first thing you need to realize what James Yeager is, he pussied out of the military, so I don't really care what he has to say.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just said it just hit me. I guess it just hit me the wrong way. You know, when I was watching it the other day.
Like
So,
I said, man, it's a persona.
Yeah. Oh, Patriots. Oh, real quick, because I said Patriots in the chat, but not on the thing. He said he's at a birthday party with the clowns. I thought you were the clown Patriot. You know. Sorry, got that little one there. Yeah. So, what I want.
Hey,
Yeah, go on.
get him if he can't come in here and defend himself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Biggest clown going, actually. And there we go. But we all love the Patriot, you know. Okay, moving on, since we ain't got a lot of people in the panel to throw this question at. Oh, somebody did mention it. Who was it now? I'm trying to think who it was. Ohio 45 said, the community is more about the people that share a common gun culture or set of beliefs. Yoda, Texas said, gun community is anyone who owns guns. Gun culture is made up of gun owners who live through guns, like us. There you go. All right, midnight range says, what do you say? Let's have a look. He's got me here. Goddamn. Stupid damn thing. Okay. I'll say the gun culture is overall feeling about guns nationwide, while the gun community is people that own, discuss, and integrate guns into their lives. That's what he's saying. So, yeah, it's basically what we're all saying, you know. So they're sort of like one and the same. Really, you can't. To me, you can't have one without the other. You know. So, all right. So let's move on to my other topic. Besides it, I mean, you've already touched on it. This is every second matters. You know, and G-Webs was hosting something earlier on. I don't know if he still is, but you know, this is a good way for us to do our, you know, just do something for the gun community, for the gun culture community, or letting people know that, you know, that we believe in the Second Amendment is by like Squibb today is because he's allowed to carry open in his state. He's carrying open today. You know, I mean, I got my hat on here. I went out this morning and I was wearing my hat. I wear this hat on every show here, but I do wear it out on the second if I go out on the second. So
I try to carry the 629 on the second. If I do stuff locally, I carry it on my hip. If I'm going out to the big city, I carry it in a shoulder rig because it's against the law to be carried open.
yeah.
I hope to spark questions, but not the he's got a gun kind of questions.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. I mean, a lot of times, even though I'm carrying, even when I was in Rhode Island, as I've told many people, I carry most 99% of the time, I carried outside the waistband, and I wear either, you know, in this type of weather, I'm wearing a jacket, so nobody can see it anyway. But in the summertime, I wear a big baggy T-shirt because I mean, I'm a big boy. I mean, we all know that. So wearing inside the waistband, being a big old boy, it's uncomfortable. It really is. You know, so I find it more comfortable to wear outside the waistband. So, but there is times I will wear it inside the waistband. Well, actually, right now, I was talking about people what they're carrying right now. I actually got it in my pocket here. I'm actually carrying my little 22 Magnum. You know, that's what I got. That's what I'm carrying right now. Around, I got it in my pocket, walking around the house with it.
Isn't that cute?
No, it is. But I said I normally carry my 45, as everybody knows. But I took it off. I had it on this morning, took it off. Then I was sitting here dry firing while I was waiting for the show to start. So I put the other one back. So I put the little one in my pocket. I always like to have something on me. You know, I'm hoping maybe a couple of shots with a 22 will, give me enough time to run in here and grab this one.
If you hit him, it will.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Philo says pocket guns are perfect for the house. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think so. And a 22 Magnum, carries a little bit of a punch at close range. So.
Hey, have you ever jabbed yourself with a fucking knife or a nail or something like that you didn't stop what you was doing to check it out?
Oh, yeah.
You poke a hole in something. Oh, man,
there goes my...
change their direction.
Are you guys there? Talk to me. I am. Okay, I lost you guys for a second. Because you were saying something like about hitting a nail. Then I lost you.
You ain't ever poked yourself with a nail or a knife or something like that you didn't stop and check it out, did you?
Oh, I've done that many a time. So that's what I'm saying. If I hit him with a 22, it will maybe just check it for a second before I can, dive into the room here and get my 45. Because I got, where is it? It's sitting right here.
When you run and dive into the room, I hope the hell you got the camera on because I want to see
that. I know they say when you're dry firing, everybody says you shouldn't have the ammunition in the same room as you're dry firing. But I carry this gun, so I dropped the magazine out and I put it over to one side. And let's say I got the magazine here, so if I had to jump in here. Yeah, camera on if I jump into the room here, huh? Yeah. Mind you, if I jump into the room here, everything would go flying too, So.
I kind of have a rule of thumb here. If it's single action, it ain't loaded. Anything else is loaded.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I said I was drunk. I said I got I'm dry firing. I got the my little laser bullet inside this thing. So I aim it around the room here. I aim it in the other room. I aim it at the cats as they're walking by. To get my practice. So, all right. Okay. Hey, anything else? You guys want to bring up anything else before we move on?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's go for it.
Those videos that I told you about, the wartime farm videos.
Yes.
Tell you what, if you people haven't seen those, that is something to see. If you got the least bit of curiosity about what happened in Britain during World War II, these things are outstanding.
I plan on watching them. You want to tell everybody what it was? It's wartime. I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Wartime Farms.
Yeah, Wartime Farms. Just type it in a YouTube search, and I think there's about 9 of them, right?
There was 8 and a Christmas special, so yeah, there was 9.
Yeah. So
we don't get near the information on what really happened over there. Those people suffered horrendously.
Yeah. As I was telling you the other day, was it on the daytime chat we were talking about it? I remember my mother telling me, because my mother was born. My mother passed away years ago, but she was born in 1937, and she remembers as a young child when the first bombing raids hit London that she had to go into the underground, which is the subway, what you call it over here in the United States. And then after a few times of doing that, my grandparents sent her out to the country to on one of those farms. Because a lot of kids from London were sent out into the countryside of Great Britain to live on farms where there was less chances of bombs and stuff. Because when the Germans came over and bombed, they only bombed major cities or where they thought, where an ammunition factory or something was. But they left the farms alone. So
they also worked.
Oh yeah.
If they were able to work, the kids all worked.
Oh yeah, and also not only that is they also had a thing where a lot of women done farm work because the men were in the army fighting overseas, and so the women ran the farms and stuff like that. It's almost like, to a certain degree, yeah, they ran the farms, and almost like over here, women ran the factories and stuff like that while the men were away. But yeah, they had women running the farms and stuff. It was kind of crazy. And people don't forget, everything was rationed too.
Yeah, we had like rubber rationing and gas rationing and whatnot here, but not like that.
They had different campaigns, like where they'd say, "Is this trip really necessary?" Where they're trying to get you not to clog up the transportation system because it's needed for the war effort. I mean, back then we didn't have the infrastructure we have today. It was post-war that, we got the interstate system and stuff like that.
Yeah, that part of it is that we don't really get the whole picture because, we're American. We fought the whole damn thing by ourselves, basically, according to our history books.
We did.
Yeah, I know it. And we saved everybody else, which there's a slight bit of truth to that. But
there's a lot of truth to that, dude.
If you watch what these people went through, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. As I said, and rationing in England went up into the early 50s. The war ended in 45. They were still rationing food and stuff up into the 50s. So it was definitely tough. It was definitely tough. Meat was rationed, and that's where stuff like Yorkshire pudding made a big headway because it was used as a filler. And everybody knows me. I mean, I eat a lot of, when I make sandwiches, I put butter on my bread a lot of times because that's an English thing. And a lot of times in England, when you have when you're sitting down to the table, you have a plate full of bread and butter on there, because it's all used as a filler. That's how it used to be.
Back during the war, they got like couple ounces of butter a week per person.
Yes, yeah. Unless if they were out on the farm, they might have got a little bit more because they were making it themselves, But
the people who had the farms that were producing dairy could have as much as they needed. At least that's what I took from that thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's basically what happened too. And beef, meat, beef, pork. Chicken was all rationed,
I'll tell you, it's a completely fucking different picture of World War II than what we're taught.
Oh, yeah.
You look at how it was over there.
Yeah. Sugar was rationed. Everything. Everything was rationed. You name it, it was rationed. So.
All of the shit they grew on the farm, be it crops or like milk, meat, whatnot, all went to the government. Pretty much. They had farm clubs where they would raise a hog and the community would give the hog their table scraps, and then half the hog go to the government, half the hog would be split amongst the community.
Yeah.
Go
on.
It's just fucking astounding what happened over there.
Oh, yeah. It was. And not only that is, besides the rationing of food and stuff like that, is at nighttime you had to put you had to put up black cloth on your windows to keep the light from shining out for the bombers. You couldn't see it.
That's all touched on in that.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, what this is 3 people went to this farm and they lived there a year, living under as close as they could manage to World War II conditions. It's really interesting as heck to watch. I mean, I've seen him build a vehicle that ran off of burning coal. They hooked it up to where it would take the exhaust off of the coal burner and feed it into the engine and run it with the gas. It wouldn't go very good, but it'd go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's amazing what kind of things they came up with.
Oh, and the tractors, man. The tractors are awesome back then. It's a whole bunch of hand cranking or using a shotgun shell.
Yep.
I'd seen that with airplanes before. That was, I think, shown in Pearl Harbor, that movie.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I've heard of that with airplanes, firing them up with a shotgun shell.
This set of videos is the first time I ever seen it done on anything else.
Yeah.
And it sure beat the shit out of hand cranking. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was a different, I mean, it was a totally different lifestyle than what used to over here.
I mean, it's like 8 hours of videos, but it's well worth the time.
Well, I plan on watching them tomorrow.
I watched almost all of it yesterday.
Yeah. I'm going to set it up and I'm going to watch it on my big 50-inch screen TV. Because I got a smart TV that I can get YouTube on there.
So your priority is the TV and not your permit? What a lousy fucker. You're just exactly what Yeager's talking about.
Well, I got tired of watching TV on my 17-inch laptop here. You know?
Well, I got, I think, 2 21-inch monitors here. One of them's a TV. Well, they're both TVs, but one of them I use as a monitor and the other one's my TV. But I sit 2 feet away, so it's like having 50-inch.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what I want to know real quick is, just change the subject slightly. Here in the chat, Ohio 45 put a link in. He goes, here is a wildcat with a shotgun start. And he put a link in there for YouTube, and they blocked it. I had to hit the show button for it to show up. Why? Because the word shotgun's in there?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they're YouTube. They do what they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They probably think they're talking about like shotgun and dope or something.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting is you can have a song with really filthy language in it, and YouTube will allow it. I saw a meme or whatever you call it, the thumbnail for a video where they're naked chicks. I mean, they're literally naked. They're topless, I should say. You see everything. And that's the thumbnail for a video. And I'm going, they're going to ban us for talking about something that's totally legal. But
go on there and look up the perfect pussy.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I want to censor anything. I think it's up to parents, especially with the technology that we have today for parental controls. I've used it to parent their children. And here's the thing. No matter how much you want to shelter your children, eventually they're going to get out there, and everybody makes a determination at what age their kid is ready for this, ready for that. What I think is right doesn't necessarily work for you, and vice versa. But at some point, your kid is going to get out there. Do you want them to be naive, or do you want them to be prepared?
Yeah, you're right. Oh, Midnight Rain said, can you please have Squib put a link in for that thumbnail?
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, okay. You're right. Anything else, guys? Oh, it's 3:30. The quiz from last week, and it was for my last hat, Stand Your Ground America, and envelope full of stickers and stuff. And the question was, I wanted to know what was the Irish Army, the Defence Force, what was their standard service rifle and their standard service revolver, pistol. Not a revolver, pistol. It's a word I should use. And the answer was, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is it a Stern, A-U-G, S-T-E-U-R?
Steyr AUG.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, and it's an H&K UPS on the pistol. Now, I had a whole magical big number this time. I had a whole 4 of you enter. So the odds of winning are damn good, you know. So let me go to my handy random result picker here at randomresult.com and hit the draw now button.
You make the questions too damn hard. They might actually require some real research.
Okay. This one is Jason Stewart. I don't know what his username is, or unless he uses that name. But Jason Stewart is the winner. So that was the name on the email. I couldn't see like a username on there. So that's any of you. You won. Oh, I got a real easy. I mean, this week I've got a. This week it's an easy question because I don't have a hat to give away, but I got a bunch of stickers. You know, one from the Tactical Pickle. I got mine here, and I got some business cards, a Gun Channels sticker, and from Spartan Arms out of Las Vegas, I should say. I've got a big giant sticker, and I think these are cool. And one of their patches. That's a nice patch. It
cool.
Really is.
Hey, I'll be right back. I need to refill my cup.
Okay, all right. But I'll give the question out for that towards the end of the show, or around 4 o'clock. So, there we go. So, basically, you got a whole package here of stickers and patches and stuff for this week. So, I made the question a little easier. Hopefully, I'll get more entries. So, all right. Oh, that's right, Ohio. Ohio 45 said there was an English TV series called Land Girls on Netflix, which was about the girls that went sent to the farms in World War II. It's a fictional show. Yeah, I saw. I'd never watched the whole thing, but I saw 1 or 2 of them. Yes, it's fictional, but some of the stuff in there was what really sort of. Some of the stuff they did was basically loosely based on what was happening out there. So. So there we go. Anyway, moving on. You got anything else you guys want to say? You got anything to add there? Any questions or anything you want to talk about, Squib?
How about something regarding Every Second Matters?
Let's go for it. Go for it. Come on. What do you want to talk about?
So I do not walk the dog every second of every month. I like to. I try to. Today it just happened to be a good weather day, and I didn't have to work today. So when I'm on these walks, or when my wife and I are on these walks, we pass by people all the time. It's usually in the summer. You know, they're outside, they're doing yard work, they're setting up a yard sale, they're washing their car, they're working on their car, they're walking their dog too, and then when we get down to the nature center, you'll see all kinds of people that walk this for exercise. They're walking their dog, they're riding their bike, they're just you'll see groups of young people or maybe a couple on a date or something like that. And in all the times we've done it, nobody's either said anything about my gun or given me a dirty look and walked the other way or anything else like that. And I don't think it's common knowledge in the state of Michigan that open carry is legal here. But it's not an issue around here. When you guys were talking, what's that?
I was going to say it's same way here.
But when you guys started talking about that series that you were, I actually pulled my earbud out and moved my phone down because there was a lady walking her dog, and our dogs wanted to sniff each other, and she's like, "Is it okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, okay," because my dog is not aggressive towards other dogs unless they're trying to hurt somebody. So the dogs were sniffing, and we were talking. We were just talking about how nice the weather was, and then we were talking about our dogs. And then she goes, "What's that on your belt?" And I said, "It's a gun." And she goes, "Oh, why do you have it?" And we started a conversation. And she had no idea that open carry was legal in Michigan, and she had no idea that it was there were different laws in different states, and she had no idea that there's reciprocity between certain states for certain things. And then I was explaining to her that it's a second for Second Amendment, and if you see somebody open carrying on the 2nd of the month, that's for every second matters. And we had a very interesting conversation. We talked about people who do things with guns that they have a permit or they have the gun legally or whatever, and they do stupid stuff with it because they think that they're the police or they're the sheepdog mentality or whatever it is, and that they don't represent people like me or people like you guys. Yeah, us people, I guess. You people, us people, right? Yeah. And she said, and I said, "Look, here's the thing. A lot of people don't know a lot about guns because they believe what they hear on TV and they see in the movies and stuff like that." And I brought up the whole thing about Biden saying just blast a shotgun in the air. And I said, if you did that here, you'd be violating the law because you cannot discharge a firearm within the township city limits. She said, "I didn't even know that." I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "This is our vice president coming on TV telling the public to violate the law, but the average person doesn't know that it's a violation." And I said, "There's lots of people out there like me that if you stop and talk to us about things, we will explain it. And I don't expect everybody to know everything about guns. I just don't. It's just not common knowledge. But I don't want you to be, intimidated." She said, "No, I'm not. So, but she had never seen anybody walking around the neighborhood with a gun on their hip before.
Well, there you go.
Finally, I had somebody stop me on an Every Second Matters walk, and I actually got to talk to him, and she was very nice. She didn't give me that, that two-faced kind of, "Oh, yeah, and then they try to get away. No, she actually stayed and talked to me. Yeah. And she didn't sound like she was pro-gun. She probably doesn't, it doesn't mean anything to her either way, but at least she walked away. Well, she walked away knowing a little bit more than she knew before, or knowing a lot more than she knew before, actually.
Yes.
So I told her, I said, the bottom line is I don't want people to be afraid of me or any of my friends. I want people to see this as a normal, average, everyday thing and that we are not a threat.
And basically that's what the second is about. Every Second Matters is exactly what it's about. Good job, Squib.
Yes, indeed.
I try. I try.
Now, see, this is where we need. Now, where's Patriot to hear this? We better make sure he goes back and listens to this. It's
fine. Patriot trolls me, but it's all in good fun. And honestly, I wouldn't expect anything less from a fellow Marine. So, because we jab each other in the ribs all the time. So, if anybody's out there and Patriot does what he does, either in a live chat or on air, and they're thinking that there's some rivalry between us, no, it's all in good fun. We really do. We do have respect for each other. So, look, if you can't pick on each other and you can't have a little bit of fun, tease, and really,
yeah, I know.
But hey, if you guys want to get them all riled up or drag them in here, we'll go round and round for a little while. If it's entertaining to people, why not?
That's right. Oh, well, anyway, that was good. That was a good job there, Squid. It really was. I mean, that's
Look,
all about.
we're not winning the fight in great big leaps and bounds. But if we can just make a little bit of difference, maybe next time she sees somebody open carrying a gun, she'll go, "Oh, it's legal in my state, and it's not anything to worry about." And if the person next to her, "Do you see that person with a gun?" She'd go, "Yeah, don't you know it's legal here?" You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, little at a time, little at a time. They can try to get us death by 1,000 paper cuts, but we can advance back a little at a time too. I mean, I know a lot of people want to see these big leaps and bounds. I would love to see some big win for our side, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah,
Exactly.
avalanches can start from a snowball.
That's right. I mean, like I said, here in Indiana, long as you got long as you have a carry permit, you're allowed to carry open, but you have to have the permit to do it here in Indiana. Now, that might sound stupid to somebody, but to me, it's a little bite. It's in the right direction.
Right.
A little bit at a time. I mean, yes, I would love to be able to go. I mean, if I had the money to be able to walk into a gun store and buy a machine gun, but the chances of it happening are very slight right now. The law being changed, But I mean, if we get all the little stuff lined up, then we can go for the big stuff.
Well, that too, and we've been living with a lot of stuff for a long time. It doesn't mean it's right. And it doesn't mean that we should just accept it and never, ever try to fight it. But let's fight the battles that make more sense to fight or that are more winnable to get more momentum on our side than going after stuff that, at the end of the day, is it really going to make a big difference for the community, not the culture, the community as a whole? Because we've been paying for transfer fees since, what, 68 or something? And for concealed carry permits, as they've become more and more publicly available, they used to only be available to like retired cops and business owners. And we've been paying for other BS, I don't agree with it. But, when somebody goes, "Well, that's $10. Well, I shouldn't have to pay $10. Okay, you're going to waste your effort over a $10 thing. Why don't you waste your effort? Why don't you spend your time and efforts on, getting something else and go after the $10 thing last or something? So, yeah. I mean, nobody wants to pay any more money than they have to. And some people are on fixed incomes. I get that. But, the same person that goes, "Oh, that costs $10. They pull out a pack of cigarettes and I'm going, "Yeah, and how much did that cost?" There are times where I have to decide, do I want to buy booze this week or do I want to buy ammo or reload supplies? You know what I mean? So we all make choices. But I'd like to see it all go away at some point. I'd like to see it. But it's right now, let's just try to hold the line because we're losing. Although South Dakota did get constitutional carry, right?
Oh, yes. So that's 14 states now. That's 14 states now. So. Oh, Two Live Moo goes, what do you say here? My gut is so big when I open carry, it's considered concealed carry.
Well, then, you ought to just sling a rifle over your...
Yeah.
I'm considering carrying the Henry one day. Just walking down the street with the Henry. It's not illegal.
Can you twirl it like the Western movies?
Hell no. I can't even twirl my walker.
Yeah.
Well, hell no. That some bitch weighs about half again as much as that Henry.
Well, whatever. You ever see that YouTube video of that kid with the fake lightsaber trying to spin it around like he's a Jedi and he falls over and on the couch or whatever? And that's the way I would look trying to twirl a revolver. Definitely not no, I'm not going to try to twirl a lever action.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good question. Or a good thing we can talk about. Alaskan 556 says, "I'm different from everyone. I'm not sure how I feel about people owning full autos. Because if we can own them, so can the ghetto-ass gangbanging thugs out there."
Can I address that?
You can answer that.
Okay. I've been a gun person, a gun guy, a gun lover, a gun aficionado, a gun whatever, since about 1982, 1984, somewhere in there when I got my first gun book. As a kid, I couldn't own them. We didn't have them in the house. My parents weren't anti-gun. My dad was too cheap to buy a gun. but I started reading. I did a lot of reading. And that's what got me into guns. It wasn't movies. It wasn't video games. It wasn't even my experience in the military. I mean, even though I worked on guns in the military, but I also was naive. And I thought that gun laws would stop violence. They would stop crime. They would keep the public safe. So I was pro-gun control, even though I was a pro-gun guy, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. When I was in the military, I saw the destructive power of these military weapons. These scary weapons of war that everybody's all talking about. They do have potential, if properly used, to do a lot of damage offensively. But the actual fact of it is they're better used defensively, honestly. Yes, you can fire a machine gun into a crowd and you're going to mow down a lot of people. But a machine gun is really used to suppress while you withdraw or reposition to counterattack. It's not, even though in World War II, all those people died, or sorry, World War I, all those people died from all the machine gun fire when they would jump over the trenches. The other side was using the machine guns defensively to stop the attackers. But the movies and stuff like that show them used offensively. In the movie Colors, they had MAC-10s and stuff like that. Dude, gangbangers ain't got full autos. They got high points. But anyhow, I left the military with the attitude that the public shouldn't have access to these weapons. The public shouldn't have access to these weapons. A couple years after I got out of the military, it really hit me. And I said, wait a minute. I'm one of millions of veterans that have been trained on how to use these weapons. And weapons even worse than that, like plastic explosive and crap like that, right?
Yeah.
How many people are out there to actually know how to use these things responsibly, safely, blah, 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 blah. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, it's an infringement. It's the government saying we can have it, you can't. I definitely didn't like that. And then I started thinking about the people that were in Bosnia and the people that were in Somalia, that if you didn't have a gun, you were in big trouble. You needed to have firepower in order to protect yourself against racial genocide or against some damn warlord. And it didn't matter what kind of gun it was, but it sure would help if it was a select fire or, some sort of military type weapon when you're trying to protect your house against a technical that pulls up and 5 guys jump out. Having an AK sure is a lot more useful than having a revolver. So I realized that my position was wrong and that I shouldn't let my military experience make me think the public shouldn't have these. If anything, I should let my military experience make me think, thank goodness we have access to these, or there's so many veterans in this country that know how to use these, that if there ever was some sort of issue, we'll break them out of the damn National Guard armories. There's tons of military weapons in storage all over the place. And if we needed them, we'd know how to use them. I don't like the idea of tax stamps. I don't like the Hughes Amendment. I don't like the NFA. Those are things that we need to address at a later point. But my initial thought was the public shouldn't have these. And just seeing what I saw overseas, absolutely the public should have access to them. I will tell you this, though. Even if there was no NFA and there was no Hughes Amendment, you could just go down to the gun store and buy it. The first time you went out and shot that thing, you'd about run yourself broke, because the ammo bill for a full auto is ridiculous. I want you to think about this. 7 rounds of .308 every second out of a machine gun. 7 rounds a second. Okay? You're going to burn through belt after belt after belt after belt. You're going to spend $1,000 at the range in a day, no problem. And you won't even be there all day.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I mean, I think I mentioned this when I went to my son's wedding, was 2 or 3 years ago. We went for his stag night, was a night at the firing range, at the gun range.
Yeah.
They were allowed to rent out full autos. So we rented one. And 50 rounds. I think it cost us, what was it, $40 plus the ammo to rent a fully auto, right? And that 50 rounds was gone in about 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, or less.
Yeah, but I said
Yeah.
we would stop when everybody had to go with it. You know what I'm saying? So we got through that 50 rounds real quick.
When I hear a young person talk about how much they want to shoot a fall, they want to shoot a fall, oh, but they can't get it. They just, because these laws, they can't get it. It's like, you're young, join the military, enlist. Do 2 to 4 years in the military, do a job that's going to allow you access to these weapons. Everybody, well, almost everybody has access to them, but some jobs have access to more than others. Go get a skill, get something good on your resume, go travel the world, go get a better appreciation for your country, become more patriotic, and get the whole full auto thing out of your system. Plus, you get to play with other shit like tanks and gunships and AT-4s and claymores, and damn, go out there, have a little fun, and the government pays for everything. Yeah. Oh, but I don't want to do that. I might get killed. Dude, you might get killed in a traffic accident driving to your half-ass job. You know? So when a young person tells me that, I'm like, just go join the military. You ain't got to stay in 20 years. But anyhow, I understand Alaska 556's thinking that if we allow the general public to get these, then the criminals will get them. Well, guess what? If the criminals want them, they're going to get them, whether we make them available to the general public or not. You're never going to stop that. I think that if the cartels somehow or another, if we legalize drugs in America, all drugs, everything, and the cartels go, shit, now what do we do? Because there's really no point in us bringing drugs across the border unless they can sell them cheaper. What are they going to bring over next? Full autos. I guarantee it. That'll be the thing that they would bring, because if they can sneak a trunk load of drugs over here, they can sneak over a trunk load of guns, and they won't be single shot break open 12 gauges. They're going to be machine guns. So the bad guys will always have these, but typically the bad guys want something they can conceal. So if they are going to have a full auto, it's going to be a submachine gun, I guess. But more than likely, they're probably just going to have a handgun. Yeah,
I would imagine so too. You know,
because if we say the bad guys might get them, so we got to keep people from having them. That's what the anti-gunners are saying. And believe me, like I said, I used to feel that way, 25 years ago, and I regret feeling that way, and I'm glad I changed my mind, and I'm glad we don't live in a third world shithole where you need to have not you want to have an AK, you need to have an AK to stop your wife and your daughters from getting raped, you getting killed, and your property getting burned down just because they don't like you.
Yeah. Also, as we've had this discussion before, but you can buy a fully auto. You got to jump through some hoops, but you can still buy them.
You can buy a full auto firearm that you can get ammunition for. It doesn't use special ammo that you can't find no more, for in the $7,000 to $9,000 range and up. And then you pay $200 for a tax stamp, and you wait, 6 months to 12 months to maybe a little bit more to get that. And then you have to go through some of the BS about you've got to report it to your local law enforcement, and you have to get permission to take it out of state, or there's extra stipulate. They can come into your house at any time to make sure that you can lock it up. I'm not saying we should accept that, but right now that's what we got. So if somebody goes, oh, I don't want a $7,000 machine gun, I want a $300,000. Okay, well then, save up your money, get a better job.
Exactly. Well, you're still going to pay the taxes and the wait time.
Well, yeah, but it's a $200 tax stamp. It's how many people got $200 in their wallet right now? Jeez, it's the wait that gets me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same as for now. I disagree. I don't know. I always call it a silencer, not a suppressor. It's a silencer. The guy who invented it, that was his name.
His name was Maxim. Maxim.
No. It was a silence. It was silence or silent. I think it was silence.
No, it was Hiram Maxim who invented the silencer.
But anyway, it was him. But it was called a silencer. Calling it a suppressor is being politically correct.
No, you can call it a silencer, you can call it a suppressor, or here, I'm going to dredge an old term out of you guys have probably never heard, a stifle. I've heard them actually called stifles. Yeah.
I've never heard it, but I can see it being called that.
Yep, because what does it do?
The sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Nobody calls it a gun muffler. But that's what it is. It's a gun muffler. That's all it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we lost our buddy Tony. You must have bad internet connection.
Well, that's what you got me for, to just drone on so you don't have dead air.
Yeah, either that. He did say his wife was nagging him to take him out to eat, so he might have just left for that without saying goodbye because you were droning on.
Yeah. Sometimes you guys just say, I hit the mute button on me.
Yeah. So, because anyway, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I appreciate you just sending the invite and letting me on and let me try to present my side or present my experience and try to help out whatever way I can.
Yeah. What I was also one of my topics I wanted to get into today, which we still can. I can keep going as long as we can keep talking. I can shut it down. It is wanted to bring up. Somebody asked a couple of weeks ago to bring up reloading. Talk about reloading.
Well, what are we going to talk about specifically?
Tony's back.
Freaking phone.
I figured that's what it was. We figured you were having internet connections.
That cheap Illinois internet.
Now I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what the guy wanted to know about reloading. I can't remember what in the hell it was.
Did he send you an email or anything?
No, he put it in the chat. All I remember is the reloading part.
Well, if you're out there, ask the question again over there in the YouTube chat or the Gun Channels chat. And
yeah, he was out there. I think it was Patrick that asked.
Patrick knows about reloading.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, anybody out in the chat got any questions about reloading? Because I got two guys. Well, I got definitely one guy here that knows a lot about reloading. So,
thanks.
Yeah, I figured that was you. It was you I was talking about. You don't. Do you reload, Tony?
Yeah.
Oh, Tony's another expert too.
You like how I swooped in there and stole Tony's thunder like that?
Yeah.
Fine, man. I don't care. I do not claim to be an expert.
I'm just a novice at it. I say because right now, as I said, right now all I load is 45 ACP. That's mainly what I shoot. But I plan on getting into 9mm and 38 special.
I had to redo my cabinet this morning to fit all my reloading dies in.
Oh yeah, you got that many, huh?
Yeah. I reload for God, I don't know, 9 different ones.
Get your shotgun out, Squib.
No shit.
Or take a couple down with your 45.
Easter dinner.
I like ducks, so yeah. If we had some domesticated ducks, if we were on a farm, we had some domesticated ducks, and they weren't pets for the kids or grandkids. And I suppose as long as my wife will cook it, I'll kill it. I don't care.
Yeah. So, but sorry about that. Back to what you were saying, Tony, on your dies. You do 44s.
I do 44 Magnum, 44 Special.
Yeah.
And I have separate dies for both, just because it's a pain in the ass to reset the die.
But you could use the one die for both, right?
Right. I started doing that, but it's a huge pain in the ass to reset the dies when I want to do one or the other. So I just
okay.
I do 38, 357, but I don't have 357, so I only do 38. 9mm, 45 Colt, 30-06, 22 250, 223. That might be it.
Wow.
That's all I can think of at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do you? Here's a question: powders. I know there's a big difference. Is there any particular powder that you like above others?
Yes. If I was going to recommend powders for anybody for handguns, it would be Tight Group. Because it's really forgiving.
And just in case somebody doesn't know, like myself, what do you mean by that?
it's either Hodgdon or IMR, but they're same company. But it doesn't care how much air is in the case with it. I mean, some powders get real picky about how much case capacity they take up. And
Okay.
Tight group don't give it rat's ass. It's whatever. Rifle powders, I ain't gonna go there because there's just too damn many. 40s IMR's 4064 is pretty versatile.
Yeah.
I think Barget is too, but I have only used Barget once, so I can't really say how much I like it yet.
Yeah. I mean, what's called it? I started with bullseye powder. I said I'm a novice at it. The only thing I found it easy to use, and but the only thing is, it is a dirty powder. You know,
that was another thing I liked about Tight Group is it was considerably cleaner than the other powders I had tried.
Yeah. So I mean, I wrote that down in my actual reloading book. That what you call it? That hang on, somebody just who in the hell just done that? Okay, got it. All right. Yeah. So I wrote it down in my reloading book, the brand name that you just used there to try when I run out of bullseye to, try different powder, a cleaner burning powder. That's what I want. Now, Midnight Range says, I didn't know he was in the reloading. Says, I do 9mm, 40, 38, 762 by 39, 8 by 57. I have to stuff to load 223 and 308, so I do that. I mean, I never heard you talk about reloading, Midnight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of the first times Midnight and I talked was on Caliber Corner, and we were talking about how 8 by 57 Mauser, 7.92 by 57 millimeter JS or IS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the calibers that got both of us into reloading because it's so expensive.
Okay. All right. He says he uses Hodgdon Universal just for ease, a powder. Is that how you pronounce it?
Hodgdon. Hodgdon. Yeah.
Hodgdon.
He uses for his handguns.
I started with Universal, but I found Tight Group was cleaner.
Okay.
I got 45 reloads in the 1911 right now, and I might have Universal in there. I might have what was that one you said you use, Rick?
Bullseye.
Bullseye. I might have Bullseye in there. I might have BE86 in there. I really can't remember. It's written down on my reload bench.
So, I mean, why? I mean, you buy your powder on price when you're buying it, or?
No, I just experiment like a mad scientist. Okay. I take notes. I take notes after I do loads, and I go out to the range and just try them. I'd like to chronograph them. I've only chronographed the 144 special load that I did, but I'd like to start chronographing them and just trying them maybe at further distances too. But for the most part, it's, does it give me any issues cycling the gun? Is there a bunch of unburnt powder come flying out the barrel? Does it make a lot of smoke? Does it make a lot of flash? Is there recoil? Is there no recoil? Just any sort of issues I might have with it. Does it filth up the gun more? Stuff like that. Until I get a chronograph, that's really all the data I can record. Now I do record the weather conditions, and I've got some loads that if I need to make up a batch for target shooting, I just go right back into my notebook and go, this worked. I'll just make a bunch of these.
All right. Oh, Patrick says he reloads 223 and 308. Okay.
So let's see. I reload 223 Remington 5.56 NATO. I reload 30-06 Springfield, 8 by 57 Mauser, 8 by 50 rimmed Mannlicher, 577 450 Martini Henry. Let's see, 762 by 39, 303 British. Let's see what else. 45 AARP,
Oh hell, I forgot.
7.62 by 25 Tokarev.
Hell, I forgot the King, man. I loaded 4570.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I reload 44 Magnum, 44 Special as well. What else? That may be it for now, unless I'm forgetting one. But there's a lot of other ones that I've either been collecting brass for, or I've already got bullets for, or I've got some of the, like the crimp dies or the trim dies or stuff to base size for different calibers as well. So those are ones that I'm anticipating reloading because I've either got guns chambered in that and I need to get on the ball, or I will have guns chambered in it. So.
Okay, real quick. I got another question, but real quick, I'm going to go into the question for my envelope of stickers and patches. And I said, besides, my sticker and a bunch of other stickers in here, I've got this, I know it's in here. I did put it back in here, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Where is it? Here it is. I got this, the main prize in this pack of stickers and stuff is the Spartan Arms of Las Vegas patch. And that is a great patch. It really is. I got one more for next week. I don't even have one for myself.
If you want one for yourself next time I'm up there, I will get you one.
Okay, good man. So,
because I will be back in North Las Vegas. Hopefully, not in the too distant future, and I'll be going there and New Frontier Armory.
Okay, so the question is, here you go. This is a real easy one. All right, Private Citizen Donald Trump. Now, this is before he became president. I want to know what his 2 carry weapons are. Donald Trump, before he became president, he was one of the privileged to have a carry license in New York City. And there was 2 particular guns he carried. Make and model, please. God, email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com by lunchtime next Saturday. I don't find, to be honest with you, I typed that in Google this morning and it popped up the answer. Whether it's correct or not, I don't know, but I got an answer. And I checked a couple of different sites it listed, and both of them, I checked 3, and all 3 of them said the same thing. So it must be right.
Yeah, I think it was kind of common knowledge that he had 2 and what they were.
Yeah, okay. That's why I said I thought it was an easy question. So there we go. Okay, now back to reloading. Does everybody got the question now? I want to know what 2 pistols Donald Trump used to carry before he became president in New York City. So, okay. What I want to know is, do you believe in, like, on your carry guns, do you reload your own, carry ammo?
Got it on me right now. Yep.
Me too. Hell yeah.
Here's the thing. People say you need to buy factory stuff because the prosecutor is going to say he made them himself because he was just itching to kill somebody. Okay, you know what? If they're going to say that, they're going to say a whole bunch of other stuff too. Here's the thing. You need to get a hold of your lawyer. You better hopefully you've got self-defense insurance and you've got a pro-gun lawyer. But if not, you either need to make sure your lawyer says this, or if not, when you're up on a stand, you need to say this. Explain reloading briefly to the jury who doesn't know anything about it and doesn't understand why people reload. It is not because you want to make a super extra more deadly cartridge, they'll call it a bullet, cartridge that is going to just kill so much better. It really isn't. You can reload self-defense ammo with the same stuff you reload target ammo with. You can just do it for a lot less money than buying self-defense ammo at the store. That's all it is. Reloading is about saving money or being able to make something that they don't make anymore, recreate a formula that they don't sell anymore, or tweak a formula a little bit, but it's not about making it this, because you're just itching. But if the prosecutor is going to say that, they're going to say a whole lot of other stuff. So you better be ready to defend on more than just what was in your gun.
Well, here's the thing. Right here, right now, I'm sitting with 44 Magnum on. And I have run slightly light 44 Magnum loads. Because if I have to use this gun, I don't want to shoot through the guy and the refrigerator behind him and his wife or girlfriend on the other side of that damn refrigerator. You know, so
Yeah.
I tone it down just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Now, question is, now, maybe it's because I said I'm a novice. On my reload and ball ammo I use for target practice, I use factory for my carry right now still. But on my ball ammo, I have, out of the hundreds that I've shot since I started reloading, well, actually, I'm in the thousands now that I've shot. I'm over 1,000. I don't think I've shot 2,000 yet of what I've reloaded. It's just that I'm new to it. But I know I'm over 1,000, 1,500, somewhere around there. I have had 3 or 4 that didn't fire. Like, you know, right? The primer didn't go off. Now, in the factory loads, that, I mean, if you're in a defense, if somebody's attacking you and you pull out your gun and it goes click, you're in a world of shit.
Have you fired 1,000 factory loads?
No.
Probably about the same kind of percentage as you look at out of the folk shit.
I'll say 2 things about that. One, you need to know how to perform immediate action on all your firearms. If you don't know, practice it, learn it, practice it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, clear the, racket.
Yeah, right.
I know how to do that.
That's one. And 2, if you don't trust your reloads to defend your life, you probably shouldn't trust them for target shooting, because the damn gun's going to blow up in your face, or you're going to put a couple squibs in the barrel like I did.
See, the thing is when you're doing reloads, and if you're consciously reloading stuff to carry, you can meticulously do every freaking round.
Yep. When I do self-defense, I usually do it like hunting ammunition, where I weigh each charge. Whereas if I'm doing plinking, I'll use the powder measure and just weigh every 5th to 10th charge just to verify that it hasn't gone out.
That's what I do. That's what I do now.
But here's the thing. If you're reloading, whether it's for target or it's for self-defense, if you think you suck at reloading that bad, that your stuff just isn't going to be that reliable, maybe you shouldn't be reloading.
No. Well, as I said, out of about 1,500 rounds I've reloaded, I've had 3 or 4 where it didn't go off.
But Rick, we're all going to have, okay, for those who've never reloaded and want to get into it, don't get discouraged if you have a couple screw-ups where you have some that don't go off right, or maybe you didn't size them properly, or in my case, where I let my family distract me and I walked away and I ended up making some squibs and I destroyed a barrel over that. Thank goodness nothing else happened. I was just out the cost of a replacement barrel. But that was when I learned a valuable lesson, is don't start reloading if you anticipate any distractions, and have a good communication system with the people you live with, whether they're your roommate, your family, whatever it is, to say, I'm about to go reload. I'm going to be downstairs for 4 hours or in this room for 4 hours, whatever it is. Whatever you need, you better say now, because I'm not leaving to come unless it's an absolute emergency, because I'm not about to risk my safety just because you need somebody to open the jar of pickles for you.
Oh no, I have faith in my reloads. I'm just saying, out of 15, and what if maybe my self-defense ammo, because of the price of it, maybe I've shot, I don't know, a couple of 100 rounds of it, and I haven't had any problems with it. That's what made me ask. I mean, I guess factory ammo will fail too.
Here's the thing. Now, I don't know when you reloaded, what the conditions were, but if it was hot and humid and you're handling primers with your fingers, there is a slight chance that you can screw a primer up that way.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the sweat or oils on your fingers can fuck them up. I've not had that issue, but it's always climate controlled in here when I reload. So maybe you want a pair of rubber gloves.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. There's a question in here from Grandman on reloading. How does one reload a light load? Question. Less powder? Question mark. I have heard that a low amount of powder is dangerous.
It is, because you can cause a squib because you won't be able to push the bullet out the barrel. I've had bullets come out the barrel and just fall right on the ground. And that's kind of interesting. What you want to do is you want to look in your reload manual, your reload data, and look at the lightest load that they've got and start there and see how that one is as far as will it cycle it if it's a semi-auto. Does it have a lot of kick? If you're just trying to have a more manageable recoil, like what Tony was talking about for his self-defense loads, just make sure that it's at the bare minimum spec, and that's where I would start.
Well, something else too, and I think given his username, I'm thinking he's wanting to make grand loads, and that's just go into the manual and find the loads that they specify for the grand, because they do that.
Yeah, because I think you were saying, like you said, you do light loads in your 44 Magnum.
Yeah, I do light loads in that, and I do light loads in the 4570. And you hear a lot of bullshit about people putting cornstarch and whatever in the freaking cases. Nah, I don't.
Yeah. Midnight Range said here, it's possible if the cases have oversized or shallow pockets in the primer, could be, the way it sits in the pocket could make a difference. It's not sitting exactly where it's meant to. And that's why my sort of 3 or 4 didn't go off.
It's possible, but you should have seen signs of that.
Yeah. But I said I'm a novice. I'm getting better at it. So, all right.
It's not, reloading is not rocket science at all. It's simple. But, the first bit of reloading equipment you should buy is the freaking Lyman book and Richard Lee's book before you buy any hardware. Read those. And with Lee's book especially, he goes in and tells you some of the stuff where he blew guns up and shit,
Yeah, I've got his book. Yeah.
Those should be the first thing, and then whatever you want after that. I'm not one that is into the progressive stuff. I don't run that much.
I do have another question on reloading myself. Okay, I'm about ready to buy some more bullets. And normally I buy Full Metal Jacket, bullets. And but I've been looking. The ones I get are 70. I get mine for. I like using Barry's bullets, and for 500, 45 ACP, 230 grain, for $75.19 for 500. Free shipping. I've noticed though where I'm going, because I just use it for right now. I just use it for plinking. But I notice I can buy same size, 230 grain, hollow point for $80. So why don't use that way? I could use them for self-defense ammo and plinking.
I would not use Barry's bullets for self-defense ammo. I'd actually go and buy bullets from Hornady or who the hell's the other one I actually do use. I would buy premium bullets for that purpose, because you only need one box of 100 to last you a long damn time.
Okay, so so in your opinion, Barry's bullets aren't like that, isn't premium?
Oh no. They're cheap.
Oh, okay.
I'm not hacking on Barry's bullets. I mean,
No, I said I'm a novice. I don't know. That's why I was asking.
they're not full metal jackets. They're plated, so it's considerably thinner material. To be honest with you, I prefer Extreme over Barry's because they come with cannelure, and mostly I'm playing with revolvers and I need that, but with semi-auto, you don't particularly need that. So Barry's should be fine.
Okay. All right. I need to buy a premium hollow point for when I start doing my self-defense reloads.
Yeah,
okay.
It can be a hunting hollow point. That's fine. I mean, you just want something that has the control expansion that you want.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I've got in this right now. So I've got a 200 grain jacketed hollow point it's the Midway USA brand, which is just reboxed Hornady ammo. It's like loose Hornady ammo that's reboxed. And I'm running, I'm running Blue Dot in it. I'm running 10.5 grains of Blue Dot. And all of them were made with Blazer brass. They used a small pistol primer. I don't know if you've noticed on some of your 45 ACPs that some have got small and large. Blazer uses a small primer in there. So that all of it's Blazer brass, small pistol primer, the CCI number 550. So that's what I had in my 10-round mag when I was carrying today.
Right now, I think I'm carrying Hornady 200 grain, I don't know, interlock or some shit like that, hollow point. I don't remember what the hell they call it. And it's over about 9 grains of tight group, and I think I'm using a Winchester Magnum large pistol primer. But Spear's fine too. Any of the name brand bullets, okay.
Yeah, I use Spear. I think I use Sierra in my my 44 special. Or maybe this. Oh man, no, I use Hornady for the jacketed hollow point and Sierra for the jacketed soft point. That's what it is.
Yeah. Now my factory carry is I use critical defense. But it's was it Hornady makes it? So I mean, if I want to, I mean, I like that. So I can buy those bullets straight from Hornady to use for reloading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to like Midway or those places, you can find the specific bullet because they know that not everybody's going to buy their damn bullet. They're cartridges because they're insanely expensive.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's what I was saying is so I'm going to just stick with my ball ammo from Barry's for my clinking, then get premium hollow points for my self defense when I start doing that, and to make sure they're good is do each one at a time type thing. Measure each one to make sure it's correct.
You buy a box of 100 of them, and that gives you 50 of them to experiment with and work out, and then you still have 50 that you can make up once you get your load decided on, and maybe more. Hell, you may find your load right off the bat.
Yeah. I'm thinking of dropping, because we were talking about this, my arthritis and my hand strength. I'm thinking of dropping down to 185 grain too. See if it.
The bullet weight for the 44 Magnum is 240, and everything I do is 200.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking of doing, dropping down to 185 to help with the recoil of that damn 45, which isn't bad, really. Go on.
Something you have to keep in mind is you have to have a certain amount of recoil in order for the thing to work.
Yeah, for the recycle the firearm.
So if you lighten up the bullet substantially, then you're going to have to increase the powder charge to make the amount of recoil you need to make the gun work. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. So, what are you defeating the purpose, really?
Maybe not, but honest to God, I can't tell the difference between my 200 grain hunt loads than off the shelf hunt ammo. They're both their recoil is about identical.
Yeah. Now on primers, any particular brand that you guys recommend?
I use CCI and Winchester both. I don't see a damn bit of difference.
I use all of them. Now, I haven't tested the Cellier and Below or the Tulas, but I've been using Cellier and Below ammo since the 1990s, and I've never had an issue with it. But typically, I run Winchester, Federal, and CCI, Remington. I run them all. I will say that on my Auto Bench Prime, my Lee Auto Bench Prime, it says I think it says not to use Federal primers in the tray, like they have an issue feeding. So I haven't really tested that, but yeah, I don't. They're all about the same to me.
Winchester started offering a Magnum primer that you can use at either Magnum or non-Magnum situations.
The WLP, yes.
That just is
So
a stack of primers less that I got to keep in a friggin' shelf.
So if you say you're doing 44 Magnum or 357s, you have to use a different primer.
Well, based on the size.
Here they are. Here they are. Let me turn on my camera. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Right here? Okay, Winchester primers, large pistol for standard or Magnum pistol loads. WLP is the part number, whatever you want to call it. This is what you're talking about, right, Tony?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. This kind of takes the I guess the mistake factor out of it, but I got to tell you, I put like small Magnum rifle primers in 223 and shot it, and I didn't have an issue, but that was by mistake. I wasn't reading the package. I keep primers for shells I don't even own yet, but yeah, I kind of like the fact that you can go either way with this. Let me see. Do I have a... Oh, let's see. Large pistol, large...
The thing is
Who makes a larger Magnum?
Some powders need a hotter spark to make them burn quick enough to not have problems. And one of my favorite powders, 296, is one.
You know what, Tony? I don't think I have any large Magnum pistol primers from another manufacturer. Yeah, I think I'm stuck using the Winchesters right now, but I know they're out there. Small pistol primers. Yeah. Yeah, just drop them everywhere. Matt, here we go. Let me turn the camera back on. So here's the CCI. I don't know if you can see that or not. I can't see what my camera's doing. There we go. CCI Magnum large pistol primers number 350. And that's not to be confused with, yeah, and here's the Federal large Magnum pistol. I had them in a different stack. And that's not to be confused with a regular large, I'm going to make a mess here, large pistol primer. So you can see, here's large pistol primers number 300, and here's large.
That's what I use.
Okay, and here's Magnum large pistol primers number 350. So this is what you're talking about, right, Tony?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing is that in most cases, it don't matter. I mean, unless you're pushing your load right to the edge of the pressure limits, using a Magnum primer in it ain't gonna hurt shit. What you get is if some of the slow burning powders will half-ass squib load, they won't burn well because they need hotter fire to start. So I immediately went to the Winchester that you could do on both because it's just, like I say, it's that much storage space I don't have to take up with another stack of freaking primer boxes.
So, a lot of people use CCI and Winchester. I'm just reading what's in the chat here. So, okay.
I've had a Winchester fail to fire yet.
All right. Okay. I was just curious on that one. So getting a lot of my questions answered that I wanted to know. Anybody else got anything? Or we can start winding this down.
We need to because the troops are getting restless here.
Yeah, mine are too. I still got a half hour to go, but both of them are laying down by my feet here. So that means they're getting ready to start circling and scratching me. So actually, one of them today, the old boy, I think he's starting to lose it. I went into the bathroom and I'm standing there doing my business, and all of a sudden he comes up behind me and bites my leg. I thought, you son of a bitch. So I finish, flush the toilet, walk away, and he jumps up and drinks the water. I
tell you, pissing in his water bowl. I don't blame you for biting you.
Yeah, I think that's why he did it for. He said, "What are you doing in my water bowl?" So I just thought, damn. Luckily he didn't. I mean, I wouldn't say bite me. He nipped me because it didn't break the skin. But I thought, damn. These are big cats, or like little miniature dogs. So, all right. You got any plugs or shout outs there, Squib?
Caliber Corner tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Travis had to reschedule because of some stuff going on today. And Lock and Load Monday night on the Hawaii Volcano Squad channel about probably start around 10 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye open for both those shows. Thanks for the invite.
No problem. I appreciate you showing up. Good bit of reloading talk there. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Anything, Tony, any shout outs, plugs, or anything?
I may be on Travis's show in the morning. It depends on the weather. It's like they're saying it's going to be. I'm going to go to the range, I think.
Okay, good for you.
And then weekdays, I'm usually on the lobby that Knives puts up 10 o'clock Central.
Yeah. All right.
And, of course, with Rick, whenever I can freaking remember it.
That's no problem. I always send you a link anyway, whether you come or not. All right. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chats for being here on YouTube and gun channels. And I really do appreciate it for all of you stopping by. It really makes it worthwhile. And I want to say thank you. And I will see you all on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Rick's Life as I See It, Shooting with Disabilities. If you guys got any questions while I'm at it real quick, that, and if you don't have to be, what's the word? How did you word it the other day, Tony? You don't have to be sort of like legally disabled. But say you got arthritis, or, you walk with a limp, or your elbow hurts, or and you got a question you want answered or you want to ask, just send me an email to rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com, and I'll bring it up in the chat. And if anybody wants to join that chat, just send me an email too, and I'll add you to my list.
So, yeah, hell, we'll do eye dominance issues, anything. You got any questions?
Oh, yeah, you name it, we're doing it. Hey, really, and also, it doesn't, I mean, if you've got a question about shooting in general, we'll answer that too, So, I mean, because we're all gun people, we're all shooters. Some of us just have to do it a slightly different way to counteract, the way we shoot. I mean, like when I was having my back issues, which I still have, and my hip issues, I would have to stand a certain way to favor one hip over the other. So I'm standing there at an odd angle and I don't have that balanced, perfect platform to stand. Questions like that. If you got anything like that you want to ask, just go ahead. Midnight Range says, Rick, you need to stay up late on a Sunday and come on my show one night. Okay. What time do you normally, was it midnight? Or 11 p.m. or something like that? I'll try to do it. You going to be on this Sunday after the Super Bowl? Or during the Super Bowl or whatever? I'll be there. Because I'm not really a Super Bowl person anymore. I don't watch football.
Well, I won't. That's way too fucking late unless I get up early.
Yeah. 10:30 Eastern. Okay. All right. Oh, Rob D. New York Outcast, he says, does financially disabled count? Absolutely. I'm that too. Okay. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it, and I will see you later on.